I'm gonna give you a second to talk, Ace. You're just sitting there all quiet. How you doing, man?
Good, man. Good. How are you?
Fantastic. I just had a really long bike ride, and I'm trying to rehydrate myself. And I'm really excited to talk to you about. Well, I want to talk to you about Star Wars and not even bring up the Schmoedown because I'm a huge Star Wars fan. But I guess we have to talk about the Schmoedown, which is super lame, but it
Oh my
happens.
gosh.
So, how are you doing?
Good, man. Good.
Good. Let me actually ask you a Star Wars, or not a Star Wars question, a Schmoedown question. This is something that I've been wondering for a long time. So I've been a Schmoes No follower for years. Like I think I came in season 2 of the tournament. So it was. Then I went back and watched all of the first season of Schmoedown stuff, and I know that you've been around for a very long time. You're the guy with the big
Yeah.
water jug,
Yeah.
and but you haven't had that same relationship with the Schmoedown itself. Most of it was backstage, or you're just around. So, did you ever see yourself having this much presence in the game itself? Did you always think, "Hey, one day I'm going to go in there and show them my knowledge," or did you, was it just something that happened?
Yeah, it kind of just happened, man. It's one of those things where I always felt like I could compete in IG, especially in the beginning phase of IG. IG now is like a different monster. Obviously, I'm ready to tackle that when that comes around. Uh, but yeah, my thought was always like anything comic book movies, I still think I could kill. And then obviously Star Wars kind of comes hand in hand with me. So when the Star Wars division opened up, I was like, let me try it out. And sure enough, hindsight's 2020. History turned out the way it is now. So yeah, it's been crazy, man.
Did you think you were gonna like? Did you come in as a play-in match, like I'll take this tournament, or was it just upset city? Like,
I was just like, let me win a match, and then let me see what happens from there. But then every match that was presented to me, I just wanted to keep winning. So obviously it turned out the way it did. But yeah, my plan was definitely just like win what's in front of me and then worry about the rest.
well, in your opening match, your IG match against Paul, I'm assuming that helped or hurt your confidence just a tad. I actually picked you up on my fantasy league right before that match because no one had you, and I was like, everyone's talking to Parker. Maybe I'll grab Ace, and I kind of forgot I picked you up. And then when I had you on the Star Wars tournament, you were all the points I got last year. I did not do good, but you were like all of my points was you just killing that Star Wars tournament. So thanks. I
Yeah.
don't think I finished in last place, but yeah. So what was it like being like upset city's a cool thing to say, but you had to have seen the polls on Facebook. Did it actually help your confidence seeing that people were betting against you, or like how did that make you feel?
Uh, no, I don't think I was ever really that surprised. I just thought it was kind of funny how like everyone just kept doing it. It was like one of those things where everyone was like, "Yeah, but I still got to pick Lori Kelly. Yeah, but I still got to pick Ken." It's like, all right, cool, cool. I get it, but it was funny the fact that everyone kept repeating the fact that I was going to lose the next one. They were like, "All right, this is the one he's going to lose," and I was like, "Did I? I don't think I'm going to lose, man." So yeah, it was definitely a lot of fun. I think now it's just a different level.
Yeah.
Then it was very understandable, but now it's just like it's funny to me now.
Well,
The way that everyone's saying that I'm going to lose this tourney. Yeah,
I got you taking it. I didn't have you taking it last time. I had you getting into it, and I
yeah,
think I had you beating Ken. But everyone saw the fire that was Laura Kelly, and then
yeah.
later Demolanta. I didn't really think anyone was going to beat those guys except for each other, and I was super happy when you did. Like I was very happy that you proved me wrong and then took it. But I had you against Ken. No offense against Ken. I love the pit boss, but you could just see that rocky energy that you had just coming in.
Yeah,
How's it
thank
going,
you,
Jay
man.
Wade?
Appreciate it.
Pretty
I'm
good.
having a private conversation with my buddy Ace here. What do you want?
I really, really like the game that we're doing. We're going to fine tune it, but I really like the consequences of if you lose early in the game, then you have to sit out early in the interview. I really like that. Ace, I'm looking at the brackets here for the upcoming tournaments, and now I know, and that's fine if this is true, and not to say that it's disingenuous when Schmoedown competitors say this. A common answer when asked about competing against specific people is give me anybody, you know, I'll take anyone. It doesn't matter. But I mean, here on your side of the bracket, on the right side, you could be going up against Thomas Harper if things line up that way. Now, Thomas Harper has been highly touted, and I personally think he's going to go a long way in this. But my question is there a part of you that wants him on the other side of the bracket because he is so highly thought of as a rookie here in Star Wars this year?
No, not at all. I'm cool. I like that he's on my side of the bracket because I feel like that's going to be. I guess it's going to be a bracket buster, implying that I'm going to be the bracket buster. Considering that everyone already picked him to win the tournament, even though he hasn't even had a single Star Wars match inside the league. Sure, go for it, guys. Go pick Thomas Harper and see what happens. Yeah, I mean, no, I'm cool with it. It's definitely one of those things where I would have preferred if I didn't face him first.
Right.
You know, my first match, because then it was like, all right, if it's Thomas Harper in my first match, I feel like that's like, I don't know, you got to at least make that like a semifinal match. But the fact that it's not my first match, if he's my second match, that's cool. That's cool with me. I don't mind that he's on my side of the bracket. If anything, it makes my side even more fun to watch.
Yeah, very fair. I just didn't know if you had any of those rivalry. Like, I want to take on the guy that, you know, I didn't know if that was.
I definitely want to face him. Yeah, for sure. Yeah.
I want to see that match too. Nothing against Sullivan or Whiteley, but I want to see. Yeah. I want to see that too. And I picked you up this season in my Schmoedown fantasy league. So this is going to be great. I'm looking forward to it. But I did want to ask you a question real quick that has to do with Star Wars, because I know Dan and Double D and Dan are. Yep, there's Daniel. Real quick, if you could pitch a Star Wars show to Disney, any Star Wars show to Disney, what would it be?
Ooh, it's funny because I would have said for like, I was saying it for like 15 years probably, since like Revenge of the Sith, the Obi-Wan show would have been perfect. But since that's happening already, yeah, I don't know. You know what, man? I always felt like if you could do, what did I pitch to? I pitched something to Riley one time on a show that I actually kind of liked. I think I said if you pitch like a show, almost like a New Republic type show, where you see the Jedi in a different era and kind of what happened to the Jedi to kind of team up with the Republic, and what made them kind of go in that direction. And also, I kind of want to see what the Jedi Order became as far as like the High Council, the 12. I think that'd be kind of a cool show to watch. So kind of like the restructuring of like the Jedi Order, I think would be kind of a cool show. I know that's the most nerdy answer ever, but I feel like the more we learn about the Jedi and stuff like that, I think that's the coolest thing.
You have no idea what's in my head. That was not the most nerdy thing you can say.
Yeah, honestly,
Gotcha.
like as like not the like biggest Star Wars fan, but I always liked a lot of the extended universe stuff, and I'm very disappointed half of it's not canon. But I would honestly love an animated show based on the small comic run that was on the planet Tython, the Force planet, and like kind of the dawn of Force powers in general. I really thought that was always very cool, and the comic itself was very like colorful and very fun to read. So that would be my pitch to Disney for a Star Wars show.
Oh yeah. Double D.
Yeah, I'm finally here. But
actually,
I'll make this quick, Ace.
Double D lost officially.
He
was.
Just move on. Let's move on. Nice to meet you, Ace. It's great to see you. With Alex and Andrew's match that has just been played, and them going perfect, does that put a lot more pressure on you to be perfect?
I mean, I think everyone inside the Star Wars division now is implying that they're going to have to go perfect, or feeling like they're going to have to go perfect, considering what they're seeing now in these matches. I feel like that's definitely something that everyone's kind of keeping in mind for sure. But if I'm being honest, I'm not too concerned. At least.
I just noticed this. Your
the Ken
quote
book
on Ken Eptalk's book.
Yeah. My thing is like I feel like as far as everything I've heard now, the questions for every single Star Wars match this season has been like layups to me.
Yeah.
So I'm at a point now where it's like,
Wow.
if I don't think this is gonna be. I mean, maybe they're gonna save the hard questions for me, like they always do.
Basically, what I've always noticed is that usually the earlier matches, especially with rookies, it seems like the questions, especially when you're just sitting and you're not in the hot seat, it seems a lot easier because I was going with that. I'm a Star Wars fan as well, but I'm not competing in this league. I cannot compete. But even I'm going, oh, it's this. Oh, it's this. It's this. It's like I knew it, and it seems like even Marie Wilson was like, I'm like, really? I mean, but I mean, obviously, I'm not in the hot seat, so.
Yeah. I definitely feel like there's like a whole conversation, at least within the Star Wars competitors, at least me personally, with like a couple people like the Damons. I've talked to quite a few times about it, that as far as like the level of questions, and you never really know what you're going to get for a 1 or a 2. Like I remember my 2-pointers ranged from like, who was the colonel on Mimban on Solo. Like that would be like a 5-pointer now in this division. But that was my 2-pointer. And then I had a 1-pointer talking about like, who was a pod racer who was killed first, or who was the creator of the BT-16 perimeter droid in Return of the Jedi, which I was like, ugh. But then again, I was like, that's a 1-pointer. And now it's like, I saw a 2-pointer that was like, who blocked Count Dooku's Force Lightning with their lightsaber, and I was like, all right, guys, come on. Like everyone knows, if you've seen Attack of the Clones, maybe like 10 seconds of it, it's over. So my thing is like, I feel like they're kind of just mixing it up this season as far as like question difficulty. A few layups, a few easy ones, just to kind of get everyone's feeling. But I'm definitely curious what they're gonna develop for the tournament, or if it's gonna be different. So
I think we'll see in the tournament a lot closer to last season's tournament.
I think so too. Yeah.
We saw like the beginning few Star Wars matches of last season were a slightly, I won't say like lower tier, but they do like throw a couple more layups to rookie competitors, for an example. And speaking of the tournament, you have actually, I'm assuming you're going to walk through this tournament again too. I'm on your side, unlike the rest of the world, apparently.
Yes.
But you've actually played all of the possible champions.
Yes.
I've wanted to know, between Damon's going to play Dimolanta, and then the winner of that match, the rematch, will play Kelly. Do you want to beat Alex Damon and get the win against that last one, or do you want one of the competitors you've already won against?
It's funny because I do want to beat Alex Damon. So to answer your question, yes, I want to beat Alex Damon. But do I mind who's the champ? Not really. I don't mind if it's Andrew or if it's Laura. Either one of those two. I think it'd be kind of cool if it's Laura, because she's in my faction now. And we're actually a team now, kind of. So I think it'd be kind of cool to have like an in-faction Star Wars final for the championship. Yeah. I think that'd be cool, especially considering the whole, corruption, Laura feud and all that. I think that'd be kind of fun to have me and Laura face off. But I still eventually down the line want to play Alex, maybe even just the singles game, 1-on-1. Just because that's my one loss. It's literally my only loss. I need to avenge it. So yeah.
Totally get that. We got a question from Dagan here in YouTube chat real quick, piggybacking off this. How did you do playing along in the Damon and Dimolanta match?
Yeah, that's my thing. I wish people saw my tweet. I don't think anyone saw it. I don't think anyone follows me on Twitter. Because I tweeted out, I was like kind of mind blown by those questions. And by mind blown, I mean mind blown by how easy those questions were. I got them all like easy, and I talked to Alex afterwards, and he kind of agreed with me. He was like, "Yeah, they were easy," and I was like, "Yeah, they were easy." I got them all right, and it was one of those things where I didn't think any of them, except for the last question, was hard. And Alex and I agreed that our match, those were way harder in our match. Like again, the Mimbon Curdle and like other stuff like that, where I was like, all right, this is not the same level of questions that Alex and I got in our match. At least I felt, because I felt like if you look at their fives was Ponima Terminal and then the elevator number. Ponima Terminal is literally like Ray literally says, I'm gonna drop you off at Ponima Terminal. And it's one of those movies, like if you're watching the movie once and if you're just taking notes, you can get that. And then the elevator number was repeated by Obi-Wan like 3 times in Revenge of the Sith. So it's like if you're paid attention, you could be like, all right, maybe this is kind of important. Those were their fives, and then the other kind of mix-up questions were a lot of repeats. I don't know if you've watched the Schmoedown for years, you know that they repeated a lot of them, at least in round 1. And then the other ones were like, you know, a couple Rise of Skywalker questions, a couple Force Awakens ones. The 3-pointer, the betting round one was a Night Watch Warm. If you're taking notes for Force Awakens, it's kind of, you know, it stands out in the movie. So I feel like all the questions were like just not that crazy. But again, that's this match. Another match can be like, you know, who's the drummer for Max Rebo Band or something.
Wow.
So, you never know. Yeah.
Well, I will add this, that you know, as a Star Wars fan, I was watching that match, and there were some that I thought some of those questions were difficult. But I would say that you're probably more Star Wars expert than I am. So I think that's also another factor, because I would say that Christian and Mark are Star Wars fans, but I don't think they're looking at this sheet. I'm like, yeah, this is really difficult. But for someone like you or Andrew and Alex, it's like, oh, this is get this off of here, or get this off of here.
Although that makes the 1 or 2 difficult questions all that more important, because you can only drop 1 question if you ever hope to win a Star Wars match.
Yep. I know you had a question for him, Star Wars related.
I do. I got one that's kind of a dumb question, but I love asking it to Star Wars fans. And then I got one that's a little more important, and I'm gonna try to squeeze them all into one. Also, I love your confidence going in. I'm loving your energy going into this tournament, and I can't freaking wait. So my question is, I'm a big Legends guy. I've read a lot of the comics. I watch like Star Wars versus videos on YouTube. I love kind of getting into the lore. And I was wondering, do you have room for non-movie Star Wars knowledge? Do you have room for Legends and knowing the difference between Exar Kun and Ula Keldroma? Like, do you have room for all that crap when you have to answer movie questions? Like, what's your relationship with Legends?
If I'm being honest, no. I feel like, as much as I love Legends too, I feel like I had to pick as far as like what my energy is going to go towards. And I feel like if I focus my mind on canon, I feel like that's almost even though I know all the Dragon Con people, technically what they're studying is also canon. It's just so far away from the movies, it's so far removed to the point that I almost feel like maybe that's an advantage that the movie only Star Wars competitors have, like Andrew, Laura, me, Sean Sullivan, like us four versus like Marie, you know, Zach and Harper, who are more like, you know, going to the books, going to the comics, going to all that. The more you can focus and hone in on certain information, the better I think your gameplay will be than if you have like a bunch of stuff that's never going to be asked, taking up space in your head. But
I completely agree with you, because I'm a live and breathe all of Star Wars. I've played role-playing games in the Star Wars universe. I know planets and all that. I don't do too well in the Schmoedown because I don't know the really movie-centric questions. So That was awesome. That's it.
One more
That was
comment. I think it does to a degree because there are some characters that are also in like Legends and canon now. For example, the Crimson, who's in the Force Awakens, it has the I forget his name, but it's Crimson something, and you wouldn't
Crimson
know
Dawn?
that unless what?
sorry. Keep going.
Oh, yeah. You wouldn't know that unless you actually read the books and maybe played some of the games and other Legend stuff. So I think it's like you have to pick and choose which to focus on it.
I would also point out on the other side that the only Harry Potter questions I've ever missed in the Schmoedown was because I had the book answer and not the movie one. So you could get too caught in the weeds.
Yeah, there's definitely ways where you're definitely helped by it, but I feel like for the most part, it might just be overwhelming. And I know who you're talking about. You're talking about Sedano Itano? Is that who you're talking about?
I think so. Again, I'm not as I just know Crimson something.
Yeah, it's the guy who goes off with Finn to the Outer Rim.
He was talking to Finn
offers.
about leaving.
Yeah, his name is Sedan Itano.
Yeah.
But again, if you kind of like pay attention, if you're like, all right, who's this guy? You can kind of find an answer.
Yeah.
That's great. You guys sitting here listing names, and I'm like, cool.
You're doing the Homer Simpson nerd scream. The nerd.
Yeah.
Nerd. I don't know. Do you guys? One more question. Does anybody got one more question before we wrap up?
I got a stupid question. I got just something I like to ask Star Wars fans, like in general. What are your 3 favorite lightsaber hilts? You can go Legends or what, but I love me lightsaber tech, and I gotta go like Kyle Katarn, Darth Malgus, and Exar Kun done. So I went all Legends, but
okay, yeah, I'll stay inside what I remember as a kid, which is the Obi-Wan hilt was always the coolest one.
Oh yeah.
Obviously, I'm super partial towards the Darth Maul one. The Darth Maul one is super cool. I think the Palpatine one is awesome too.
The tiny little ones out of the oh, so cool. Yeah.
And then maybe who else? I used to have, you know which one I had? I had the Qui-Gon one. And I know that's not the most popular one, but I had that as a kid, so it has like a special place in my heart.
Yeah.
But I had that toy lightsaber, the Qui-Gon one, so it was fun.
Great.
Nice.
Great, Ace. Man, thank you very much for your time.
Yeah.
Appreciate it. It's been great chatting with you, and good luck in this tournament coming up. Like I said, I'm looking at the bracket again here, and I definitely, like I said before, want to see you take on Harper just because of mainly because of all the hype that's been around Harper. See what he can do, especially up against you. And I'm rooting for Marie Wilson on the left side of the bracket. I'll just go ahead and say it. I'm pulling for Marie to play in the final against either you or Harper. And I listen to that. No offense, Sullivan or Whiteley. That's not a knock. That's just my opinions.
Yeah, no, I'm definitely curious how Whiteley's going to do as well. And then on the other side, Marie, and then Zach versus Witt, right? Zach versus Witt.
Yes.
Yeah, I was hoping for Molly, but I obviously, no offense to Witt, but again, I just hanging out with the Damons. I was like, man, wouldn't it be cool to face off against Molly Damon in the final or something like that? But if not, yeah, that'd be kind of fun. Maria would be dope. Anyone on that side would be a lot of fun. So
also, Witt gets that odd place of being the only competitor who could go through all of the Dragon Con players and then play for the title. So
that would be he would be a legend.
I want the Witt upset. I want Witt Ace. I want the Witt upset. I do.
Yeah.
That would be
Also,
incredible. Yeah.
We'd have to change his name to Dragon Slayer at that point, right?
Hey,
Oh, yeah.
that'd be amazing. That would be amazing. I'm low-key rooting for that now. Yeah.
Good luck in the tournament coming up, Ace, and good luck this season. Not only to you, but to Swag as well.
Thank you.
Thank you very much for your time, and we'd love to have you on again sometime. Thank you.
Absolutely. Appreciate you guys. Thank you so much. Have a good day.
You too. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
You want to hear
hear something funny? The mic wasn't on that whole time.
No way.
Yeah, for real.
Oh, wow.
So smooth.